What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We are back here
Yes,
with Lush
sir.
Louisville. Much long awaited. It's been about 3 months. Super excited. So, everybody, welcome to Lush Louisville. A lot of new things like that jingle. Man, it has been quite the past couple of 3 months. I guess the last show was in November. So yeah, it's been about 3 months. I moved. I now live in Smyrna, Tennessee, which is about 20 minutes east of Nashville. I believe it's east. It's either east or south. One of those. Probably should know that. But of Nashville, and but the goal still remains the same of the show. I'm here to shine light on Louisville creatives. No matter where I'm at, I'm here to shine light on their work and you know, continue to bring light to them. So the goal has not changed. New place, same goal. But how's everybody doing? We got the chat up. It's good to be back. Good to get my hosting back on. Hopefully I got the right chat connected. Let me make sure that is should be. But, we got a big season planned, season 3. This is episode 21 with none other than Clay Devlin. Sorry, not Devlin. A man that I went to school with, fellow colleague, and visual artist. Going to be a very, very good show, as you can see from some of his work here. Very interesting. A lot of this caught my eye on his Instagram. That's why I reached out to him. I was like, wow, man, I didn't even know you did this. But we both went to Manual together, and that's how I know him. But yeah, he's got a lot of cool. I went out to his studio that he worked at, and some of this work he's done is pretty neat. I'm going to double check this chat here because it might feel like there's people commenting, but I'm not seeing anything. Oh, wait a second. Copied. No, it's the right one. I guess people are just getting on here, getting started. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else is new. Anything that's changed? I've got yes, something did change. There we go. Got a new little view for the show. A nice little camera, and you can kind of see some of my new desk that I got. Some of it, not, I've got a couple monitors up here, and then I've got, just a basic table, some drawers, and some pull-out shelves for all my equipment. Here we go. Team Legal Video. Tyler Gobb. Let's see. Legal Video is my dad. He says, welcome back to the live stream world. Thank you, Dad. Much appreciated. Tyler says, season 3 going strong. Love to see it, man. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you all. Good to be here. Great to be back. But yeah, so I got a new little camera angle. I got a new desk that me and my dad built. Mostly my dad, so shout out to him. And yeah, so other than that, let's hit up Clay, see what he's got going on. Dad says, like your alternate video view. Yeah, thank you. I didn't want to just have I've got one view of me and the wall behind me. I wanted to, show off the craftsmanship of the desk. This genius desk that was built by another genius and his son. All right, let's get Clay in here. See what he's talking about. Yo.
Yo, what's good, man?
Oh, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are
Clay,
you?
Clay, man, welcome to the show. Glad to have you on
Appreciate you
here.
having me.
Oh
It's
yeah,
good to be here.
yes, it's good to be back, man. Good to be back doing this. But yeah, how you doing today? What's going on? You got a big day planned?
Not too bad. It's the only thing on the agenda.
Oh,
Maybe knock out some
nice.
homework. But
Yes,
yeah,
yes, that's right. Oh man, homework.
I know.
Hate to see
I'm ready for
that.
it to be over.
Hate to see that. Yeah, man. So everybody, welcome Clay. Good to be here. Good to have you on. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Clay. What's your background like in Louisville? I already told him that we went to school together, but just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So I'm mainly a painter these days, but do some digital art and photography as well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, born and raised in Louisville,
Yes, sir.
with my family out in almost in Fisherville, so kind of in the countryside. So it was interesting growing up out there. Um, and yeah, just I don't know, love the city. When I kind of got to middle and high school, just started running around the Highlands, meeting all sorts of different people,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's good to be on here talking to Louisville folks because
Yeah,
it's always like a family reunion whenever I'm back home, seeing
yeah.
everybody. So
But you're in Boston now, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
doing my last semester at Northeastern. So
Okay, I couldn't remember if you said you had two more semesters or just one. But
yeah,
yeah, so
no,
you got
the
that
home stretch.
the home stretch, hey, man. And you said it's not too cold. And let's see, we're February. It's not too cold right now in Boston. You said.
It's a little chilly. We had some snow like last week, but we got a blue sky today, so I'm gonna
Good.
appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and it's Saturday, so that's a. But man, yeah, the homework.
Yeah,
I haven't done homework in over a year when I graduated, so that's a plus. But
yeah.
yeah, so you're growing up in Louisville. You said you started running around in the Highlands. That's that's funny because when I was in high school, they I started I was well I dated Hallie Riddick and she lived out there, and
Mhm.
that was like a totally different scene from where I lived, and I did not know my way around there like at all. But that once I started going over there, I was like, wow, this is like a really cool place. It's an interesting area of Louisville.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
you said you lived in Fisher, well, close to Fisherville, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So kind of we've got like 5 acres out there, log
Hmm.
cabin in our
Ooh,
studio. So
yes,
um,
yes, absolutely. So
yeah.
the okay, so we'll talk about that. But around like when did you kind of get into painting and like or being like an artist? Was it just kind of like have you always done it, or did it kind of start like in middle school or high school, or when did you kind of get started?
Um, with painting, I've really only gotten into that this past year in quarantine. I kind of started teaching myself how to do it. But I've always made art.
Hmm.
Both my parents are artists, so I
Yes.
was always around it growing up. My dad used to do when I was growing up, just like art fairs all around the country, and like the big ones in Louisville, like Cherokee and St. James. And my mom worked at a gallery, so just a lot of when I was growing up, just hanging out at my dad's booth and seeing a bunch of different artists at all these different art fairs and
Hmm.
playing with cars on the floor of my mom's gallery. So I
Oh
got
yeah.
like a pretty cool introduction to like all the people in my parents' peer group that were making art and other artists that would come through the city. So
Yeah, that,
definitely got to see like a wide range of different styles growing up, which was pretty cool.
yeah, absolutely. That sounds super cool. Where was your mom's gallery?
So it's still around. It's called Gallery Hertz.
Gallery Hertz.
This artist Billy Hertz and his partner Tom Tom Schneff are the ones that run it. Really cool gallery. They've had a few different locations, but yeah, I spent a lot of time there growing up, and that was a really interesting place to kind of just see the Louisville visual art scene growing up.
Yeah, that's super cool. That is quite the I guess you could say advantage, but not like that. That both of your parents are artists like that, and that you were able to be around it like that. That's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. So do they would you say that like they're I don't know what is your parents like style of art? Like I saw your dad's those faces that he made out of wood.
Mm-hmm.
What did you call those again? The like the
Um, I mean, he just uses found materials. Like people would always bring him just random things. We used to go dumpster diving when I was little, and just like he used to find stuff for him to use. And my mom mainly works in like textiles. She works at St. Francis now, so she doesn't do the art as much anymore. But I think she still considers herself an artist, and she's done some really cool work. Really talented seamstress, does some stuff there. But yeah, it was definitely interesting being around that growing up. And I don't know, when I was younger, like I always heard my parents like kind of stressing about money, and my sister was sort of going the art route. So for a while, I was like, "There's no way I'm doing that. Like, I need to make money for my family, so they're not like stressed about money anymore." Which in time I realized that's just kind of part of being an artist, is being okay with that.
Starving artist, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was really into art in middle school too, and was in like the advanced art classes and stuff, and thought about going into VA at Manual, but decided not to for those reasons. But always took art classes. I think when I really started like caring about it and getting excited about the stuff I was making was when I started taking photography classes with Mr. Curtis. And so that was a really fun way of just, I don't know, kind of getting back into it, because it doesn't require a ton of like technical skill. It's just kind of like looking for kind of accidents that you can turn into something. So that was a lot of fun, and I did that for 2 years at the end of high school. So that definitely got me excited about seeing what I could make for the first time, probably.
Man, that's super cool. Yeah, I heard people talk about those photography classes. You talking about it, man? Yeah, you said in high school.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was never into photography, but I don't know. But those classes seem pretty cool. I know that they had those like big, I guess like a photo lab. What would you call it? Like those big classrooms. They seem pretty cool. But I never took one. But that's awesome, man. Yeah, and yeah, the being part of being an artist, as you know, it's just the money is. It'll come. You got
it's
you're
not the priority.
Yeah, exactly. I've got your work pulled up on your Instagram. You're the piece about the therapist, right? The painting. Like, you're obviously very talented and very good. Like these.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, you have good work. Oh, is this I see you got pictures of the. Is this your studio where there's a bunch of sheep?
No, that's a little farm out near my house.
Okay.
Family friend of ours, Franny, but I've worked there just a couple hours a week whenever I'm home since I was like 13. So that's like a very relaxing place for me.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it.
Just go out there and scoop horse poop, clean out the sheep stables.
Oh, here you go on your I saw this post where you're on your pogo stick. You said you broke your pogo stick record.
Something like that. Yeah. I used to be into it. I was doing that a little bit back home, just get a little bounce on.
Yeah, that's funny. So the studio at your parents' house is pretty impressive. Can you tell us kind of the story behind that? I know you said your parents knew the owners of it, and then you all just like moved in and kind of took it over. The studio was built there when you all moved in, right?
Yeah, so we were really fortunate with how that worked out. I love where I grew up, and so my mom, but the people that lived there before were two artists named Russ and Leslie, and Russ does some really cool Russ Vogt, VOGT, if anybody wants to look him up. He does some really cool kind of mosaic things, and like mosaic sculptures, and some really great paintings. And then Leslie did these really kind of expressive figure sculptures. And Leslie actually passed away from a brain aneurysm, I think.
Oh, wow.
Right before they moved, or right after. Probably right before. But my mom was, I think, Leslie's studio assistant for a while, and my parents were both good friends with them, just like through the art community in Louisville. And yeah, it just kind of worked out. When they were leaving, my parents were looking for somewhere to raise me and McKenna. So we got that space, and the studio is kind of pretty awesome. My dad has half of it for doing his work, and then we rent out some of it to a couple other artists, an artist named Tiny, and a couple others that have cycled out through the years. But yeah, over quarantine, I got to kind of set up my own space and wasn't really going anywhere, so I just kind of went out there every day.
Absolutely,
it was pretty nice, definitely, because since I've started like taking art seriously, I've mostly just been in my dorm room or my little apartment, so it's really nice to have the space to kind of do the work I want to.
Right. So this picture I got pulled up on your Instagram it looks like your workspace at the studio at your parents'. What's the name of the studio again? Do y'all have a name for it?
No, not really.
No.
Call it the barn.
The barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had taken a picture of the like or like a video of it inside, because people see. I'll look up. It's on my Instagram. Some of those pictures that I took, but it's really, really a pretty area. Yeah, got these big barn doors. Oh. All your work. Let's see. Yeah. So this is like the side of the barn at Clay's, and it's really, really pretty sky. Really, really pretty area. So yeah. So the so the studio and the house, that's a package right there, a whole bundle. You move in and you got an art studio out there right in your backyard. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's quite the blessing for sure.
So during quarantine, you said you just kind of were out there every day. What were you working on?
Mostly painting. I hadn't done it much before. I guess to go back to when I started getting back into art, because like there's the period in high school where I was really into photography, but I wasn't sure that I wanted to make art for a living. I kind of went into college undecided and stuff, and I went to Miami University in Ohio freshman year. It's kind of big party school vibes, very very fun year, but I didn't see myself like figuring out what I was going to do.
Yeah.
So I transferred up here to Northeastern, actually in the same apartment that I'm living in now, just like living with randoms. And I just started drawing in here with what I had, like pens and colored pencils, and that was about it. And I've kind of kept doing that. And for a couple of years, it was mostly just pens and colored pencils and just playing around and seeing, like, kind of trying to develop a style. And then when COVID started, I was doing art classes on Zoom and stuff like that. And the last piece I did for one of my classes for the semester, I had just done it in pen and like colored pencils, I think, and I spilled tea on it. And I was like, shit, I ruined the piece. But I just let it dry out and painted over it. And I really liked how it turned out. So I just started experimenting more, and I hadn't really used acrylic. I mean, I'm sure I'd used them here and there growing up, but never like feeling like the artist I am now. I don't know. It was fun to play around, and I am really happy with the works that I made last year. And I definitely feel like that's my medium for now. I'd like to get into oil painting in the future, because you can definitely do some cool stuff combining oils and acrylics. But yeah, I just kept making paintings, trying to work on bigger paintings. But yeah, it was definitely that was a big highlight of quarantine, was being able to explore that more. Yeah,
totally. So oils and acrylics, that you said that's what you want to get into in the future, because you can do some cool stuff with it.
Yeah, I'd like to. I'm taking a painting class right now. I thought I was going to be able to do oils, but it's watercolors, which I don't know much about. So it'll be fun to learn that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to do just a little like oil course after I graduate to get my feet wet there.
Yeah. Well, cool. So what's some of your favorite work that you made, not in that you made during quarantine, that would you say?
Let's see. I like these ones behind me. A good amount. The bottom right one's a self-portrait. Top right one is a little collab I did with Camellia Roque. She's a dancer. Sent me some kind of motion shots. Then bottom left one's definitely one of my favorites. The top left, I don't know if I'm done with it yet. And this one I've worked on for a while. Definitely the biggest piece I've done. I have a couple of details I need to finish up on it, but I'm pretty happy with that one. But yeah, I mean, I really like all of them. I do a lot of sketching, so I kind of, with my process for the paintings at least, I mean, I just sketch every day, and whenever I come up with something that I'm like, oh, I want to explore what that would look like on a bigger scale and like with the full color spectrum, and then I decide to go at it for the painting. So yeah, I'm usually happy with the idea before I start, and it's fulfilling to see it turn into something more tangible, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's a creative process. It's easy to get inspired most of the time, but then it's like, one time I took a class, and it was called the New Music Business, and it wasn't at school. It was in Nashville, and it was basically like teaching us like how to like really make money in the music business and what action, like really trying to prepare us, and it was really cool. And the teachers, the professors in it were, one of them is a recording and mixing engineer, and the other guy is just like a entrepreneur, CEO, super, super cool guys. And he showed us like the creative process was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And then it was like, man, this is terrible. And then it was like, I'm terrible. And then it was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And then it was like, this is great. And that's just, I think about that sometimes, and that really is
how it goes.
Yeah, that's literally how it goes. Like, with anything. But the piece with the that you just showed, that's right to your, I guess it's to your right. Yeah. You explained it to me when I went out to your studio, but can you tell us a little bit about like the inspiration behind that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably the worst year in any of our lives for mental health, especially around people our age. Just being isolated, not being able to see others. I don't know, just the world didn't make sense in a lot of ways this past year, which is natural, and that's something that everybody has to work through. But I kind of just use the circles in the head as kind of a representations of thoughts, and the red figure. The thoughts are a little in disarray, and aren't kind of in seeing the unity in the world around it. And the blue one is kind of has a more, I don't know, can make sense of the world. And I don't know, just kind of a geometric representation of two different ways that I feel and have felt in the past, and just trying to use the more positive feelings to make the more negative feelings feel like there's a purpose behind them, at least.
I didn't. I remember when you were telling me about it, I didn't notice that the circles in the red guy's head were not connected, but the one in the blue was, because I was like, oh, I didn't even notice that. But that's pretty cool. It's kind of like, it seems like the blue guy is consoling the red guy, because he's kind of got. It seems like you were saying, he's got his world is together in a sense. Yeah. I think that's super cool, and the colors are really nice. I like how the blue guy, like even his hands and his feet are blue. That's pretty cool. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm big on the colors.
Yeah,
I like to fit them all in there when I can. I mean, just the like primary colors and just pure secondary colors kind of bring me very childlike emotions, and so do the geometric shapes. So that's a bit of the personal thought behind that. It brings you back to more innocent feelings that the world makes sense, I guess.
Really? Well, that's super interesting. So the let's see here. There was some good talk about the studio. Oh yeah, so the Reebok shirt that you showed me. What about I've got it here. One second. That you made out of yoga pants, correct?
Yeah, it was
like
yoga pants
material.
Yeah.
What's give us a story behind that. I thought that was pretty cool. So it's a shirt, a Reebok shirt, correct?
Yeah.
He's got the whole fit here with the shoes. How did that come about? Didn't you? You said you'd met some people. The 2026 guys. Was that their name?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the only. I mean, I've made I painted on this shirt. I've painted on a couple of clothes, but I haven't really gotten super into it. But yeah, the 2026 guys. Francis, who does Know Nothing and makes some really cool clothes. And Dom, who's a rapper, and they both DJ. So they were doing an East Coast tour, like right before COVID happened, and crashed on my floor. And they had a buddy who worked at Reebok, and apparently all the employees there have access to their design studio.
Wow.
So yeah, one night we
nice.
just went in there and like messed around, and we were all just cutting up stuff to like kind of make shoe mock-ups and like just making random shirts out of the stuff they had there. So that was pretty fun.
That looks like it.
And that got me thinking a lot more about like clothing as art, because I hadn't that much in the past. And my mom has a lot of skills in that realm, and she taught me how to sew a bit last year. But yeah, that's something I definitely want to explore more in the future, and I think that'll be on the way later this year. I actually had Francis design me a logo, but as I've been making my website, I kind of decided I kind of want to do it myself, so I can have full control over the
Right.
visual message, I guess. But yeah, that was super fun. It was great to kind of learn more about streetwear and what that's all about, because it really feels like the intersection of art and fashion. So I'm definitely interested in that.
Totally. Now the Nike shoes below it that were sitting on the picture that I took, there's a pair of Nike shoes that I guess you'd painted them or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do those is that going to be a whole fit? You can't wear Reebok with Nike, but they look like it looks like a whole fit going on. I
I
guess
suppose so.
yeah.
I found. Can you hear me? The FaceTime says it's
Yeah.
got poor connection. Okay, it worked.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I found those like the first week after I got home when COVID started. I was going on a walk in the park, and they were just hanging from a tree, and they had Sharpie all over them. It said "God loves you."
Oh wow.
And so I just painted them. It was cathartic. I don't think that's something I'll be doing a ton of in the future.
Yeah.
But it was just nice to play with the colorways.
Yeah, totally. Which park?
What's it called? It's like right across the street from my house. Like Floyd's Fork.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like Cherokee or someplace like that. Cool. Well, yeah, super dope. And so the 2026 guys, Dom and what was the other guy's name you just said?
Francis.
Francis. They do some photography work for Jack, or was it photography work or?
Yeah, Francis does his merch, but yeah, really interesting creative dudes. Older than us, went to Manual, but
Yeah, that's right.
definitely
That's right.
tapping in with them on the podcast. I'm sure they'd be interesting to talk to.
That's a good idea. Good idea. And what year did they graduate Manual? You said it was like before we were even there.
Yeah, I think they're like 28.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably like 2010.
Yeah.
Cool. So the let's see, my notes on my computer are not updating what I had to. Okay, so you're talking about your works and your different interests in painting and art. Where do you find inspiration? Does it? I'm sure some comes from your parents, but also where's your inspiration coming from?
Yeah. Let me pop my window open real quick.
Yeah, I got you.
The heat in my apartment goes crazy.
No, I feel
turn it
you.
off. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people draw inspiration from other artists, and I love seeing what other people create. And I was really fortunate to just be able to see so many different people's approaches at all those art fairs and around the gallery growing up. The mathematical study of randomness and like unpredictable systems. And I mean, you can think of that as
Hey, nice,
really
man.
almost anything in nature, like meteorology, the fluid dynamics of when you pour your milk in your coffee.
Oh,
It's never
wow.
going to make the same pattern every time. And just things like that seem unpredictable and kind of impossible to understand. And I think systems like that bleed into just like the human experience and how we see the world around us. A lot of times it doesn't make sense, but chaos theory is more the exploration of the underlying order in that randomness. And it's really interesting because it's usually based on a simple set of rules that are very dependent on the initial conditions of the system. And that's why its results are so different every time in all these systems. And it's really fascinating stuff, and kind of I became obsessed with it. And it just kind of changes the way you see the world. Like, I think the core differentiating factor between objects that arise in nature and anything that's man-made is a sense of fractal dimension and
Fractal dimension.
self-reference. Like, if you just think of a tree branch, like it's branching out in more and more directions into smaller and smaller branches, but it's really all the same thing, and that bleeds out into really any natural thing that you can think of. Like, if you're looking at the waves in the ocean, there's smaller waves within the waves, and in nature it's not a pure fractal. I won't get into fractal dimensions because I'm not a mathematician. I'm sure I
That
can't
sounds
explain it too well.
that sounds insane.
But yeah, I mean, like with a tree, the branches don't go off forever. They the system eventually breaks down into like an atomic scale. But there's something called pure fractals, which are basically theoretically infinite geometric shapes. And people might have heard of the Mandelbrot set, and it's basically just the same shape repeating itself on an infinite scale. Like, no matter how far you zoom in, you'll see the same shape. But there's also one, and that one's a little more complex. People would probably recognize it, but there's also more simple ones that you can see in my work that are kind of based on like squares and triangles and circles and things like that, which I like a lot because I think that's really core to like some of your first memories and learning how to understand the world just through geometric shapes. And yeah, I don't know. It's basically a suggestion of self-similarity on an infinite scale, which I think is a good reflection of the world around us. I'm a firm believer that everything is the same, and you are the universe that you came out of, and it's difficult to see that all the time. But these theoretically infinite objects kind of give me like a simple way of reminding myself, like, you are what is, which is important to remember.
You are what is, yes sir, yes sir.
But yeah,
That's
that's
deep.
I'd say that's the biggest inspiration for me, is trying to communicate those feelings and the kind of sense of peace that I get from understanding that a bit, and just trying to remind myself and hopefully people that see my art that chaos and order are just two sides of the same coin, I guess.
Huh. Wow. My mind is blown. That's interesting. I had never heard of the chaos theory until you had told me about it. That's so those ideas and those elements, I guess you could say, you kind of implement into your work in a sense, like you were saying, like with the different shapes.
Yeah. Yeah, like you can see it in a lot of it. It's like kind of a repeating pattern. And some of it is those more simple geometric shapes. Sometimes I'm trying to find a way of expressing it with my own hand. But yeah, just I hope people take a closer look and they're like, oh, it's all the same. And maybe that means something to them.
Right. It's all the same. That's cool.
I hope I explained that well.
No, you did absolutely. So you think what do you explain a little more when you say it's all the same? What do you mean?
I think the world's a reflection of yourself, and I think the common experience of I, and referring to oneself as I, is a important thing to remember about why we're all here,
Yeah.
and why it's important to do what you want to do.
That's amazing. That's super dope how that comes out in your work. Because like you said, I can see it in your work. That's quite pretty cool inspiration. Now, you're so when we were talking the other day, you told me about NFTs and you mentioned crypto art. Now, what is that? Because that sounds super interesting. Crypto art. I've got the cryptocurrency going on, but what is crypto art?
Yeah, so I guess I should give a little background, because it's kind of a perfect unity of my interests throughout college. When I first got up here to Northeastern and was trying to figure things out, I spent the second semester of my second year in San Francisco doing this entrepreneurship program, because I was like, oh, I could do business and make some money. And entrepreneurship kind of seemed like the most creative side of business, so I was interested in that. And I ended up working at a company in the blockchain space, kind of right after Bitcoin had a big year in 2017.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I didn't know all that much about cryptocurrency and blockchain, and started learning about it and became pretty fascinated. It feels like a pretty liberating technology for people all around the world. I mean, just a friendly reminder to everybody out there that 70% of US dollars in existence have been printed since Bitcoin was invented in 2008. So keep that in mind as you decide to save your US dollars or not. But and then the next year, Northeastern has a co-op program, so you get to do internships throughout, like full time. So I worked at another blockchain company the next year and met some interesting people, learned a lot more about space, and then I guess last summer I worked on a startup with a buddy of mine from the blockchain club. As the CMO, and so that was interesting, and that kind of felt like, I don't know, the full experience of like if I were to go to the entrepreneurship route, because like I like that idea of starting something from the ground, and that was really really interesting. My buddy Steve's still working on the project. They're getting some good traction, but I was kind of I wasn't committed, and I was working on digital art on my computer on the side, like,
Yeah.
and I kind of realized like that's what I want to spend my time doing. So definitely got interested in that stuff, and in the past year, as you said, the crypto art world has really started to blow up, and for anybody that doesn't know what that is, an NFT is a non-fungible token.
Non-fungible token.
What that means, start with what fungible means. You can think of Bitcoin as a fungible token or a fungible cryptocurrency. The Bitcoin that I have is the same as the Bitcoin that another person has. It can be used for the same purposes. It only matters, the only difference is the value that we have. And a non-fungible token is essentially a unique digital asset, and you can think about it as a digital collectible, and it's really uniquely suited for representing creative ideas in a digital sense, such as visual and audio ideas. So this past year, there's been a big just kind of wave of crypto artists having success selling these NFTs and really making careers out of it. And I've been paying attention, but I've mostly been painting. And I was like, oh, I'm not not primarily a digital artist these days. I don't know if it's for me, but I've kind of realized there's like all types of artists that get involved with the space. And if you kind of scan a painting and just make a slight animation of it and kind of create a GIF, people value that as an NFT. And so this semester for one of my courses, I'm doing an independent study on NFTs. So I'll be writing some blog posts about it because I want other people to know about this stuff because I think it's the foundation for a digital creative economy.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And I think it's really empowering for independent creators in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's something I'm excited about. I'll probably be releasing my first NFT in about a week.
Okay, so right, so you're releasing it. So what exactly is it gonna be? Is it gonna be a GIF, like you said, like a GIF, or what exactly? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So where is that gonna be? Would it be on your website?
Maybe I need to figure out if there's a widget that I could do through my website. I'll at least put a link on my website. But I'll be promoting it on IG and Twitter, I'm sure. But there's a platform called Zora that I'm pretty excited about, where artists can kind of create their own markets to sell these NFTs on. And they're just starting out. I think they're just about to open their like public beta, but they're doing really cool stuff for the space. And a lot of the more established marketplaces are just difficult to get onto. So I'm sending in my applications, crossing my fingers. But I kind of like the idea of starting off on this new platform, and their mission statement definitely resonates with me a lot. So yeah, I'm excited to get into that. It'll be fun. And just like the learning more about this and learning more about the metaverse and like virtual worlds that people are incorporating this stuff into, and the idea of having ownership of art or like even digital fashion in a metaverse is super interesting. There's these worlds like Decentraland and Crypto Voxels that I've been hanging out in a bit, and you can just kind of walk around.
So what a Crypto Voxel? What is that?
Crypto Voxels is the name of the metaverse.
Metaverse. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So is it like an online like virtual world kind of thing?
Yeah.
And you can like walk around in it?
Yeah. And there's a ton of awesome art galleries. So one of my goals for this semester is to get my work up in a virtual gallery.
Dude, yeah, that would be cool.
So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, and you can see other people in the space checking out the art. It's a really cool way to find a bit of community in a time when we don't get that as much.
Yeah, when we can't. Okay.
So that's been really cool to learn about, and I'm super excited about everything that's happening in that space.
So what do you, when you say in that space, and you said you were learning about space, you're not talking about like the stars, I'm assuming. Like what do you mean? Like
I mean just in that space of people that are excited about that and kind of building that world.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been meeting a bunch of people online that are really into this, talking to collectors and some people with virtual galleries and other artists, and everybody's really passionate about it. It feels like a kind of new digital renaissance for art that I'm excited to just start exploring, and it'll be fun to once I'm actually a part of it with my work and can kind of have it exist in that virtual world.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's super cool. What's the so the metaverse you were talking about? You said, does it have like a specific name, or is it just like called like a crypto voxel, or is it like I'm thinking of like, did you ever play the game RuneScape?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, or like Sims. Is it kind of like Sims, sort of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So really, the idea of a metaverse is just like an alternative reality that has come out of ours that, in a way, like references ours, but is informed by the imagination of the people that create it. So the first one was probably something like World of Warcraft, where you're just like in this world that isn't the physical world that we're in, but you're with all these people around the world and having these experiences that are still real, even if they're not physical. So yeah, I'm excited for where that space is going to go. There have been a ton of cool events, like there've been like virtual music festivals and things like that. And it's only going to get more real as time goes on. So it's going to be really interesting to see where these spaces evolve into, and how much more accessible they become to people. Because right now it's kind of a niche corner of the internet, but I think eventually it'll be a way that we can interact with people that we care about, people that we don't know, and be a part of each other's lives without even leaving the house. And the art aspect of that is really exciting to me. Definitely, if you're listening and you're interested, take a look. Hop on Decentraland or Crypto Voxels. Those are two of the kind of coolest ones right now. But yeah, check out the art galleries there. It's pretty neat stuff.
Totally. That sounds amazing. Man, some real gems. So I'm on your website here, which is coincidence.studio. I see you're kind of in your bio here, you're talking about the NFTs and the crypto art. But how's your website coming along? It seems pretty good. You told me that you've sold some prints, or you're trying to start selling prints off your website, correct?
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that. I've been meaning to get a website together, just to be able to present my work in a more professional way, I guess. And that's kind of the first step in, because I mean, to be successful in the NFT space, you kind of have to be an internet native in a sense and be able to show who you are in an authentic way on the internet. So I think that kind of gives people a homepage of who I am and what I do. So I've been working on that for the past couple weeks, and I'm really happy to have it pretty much done. But yeah, prints will be available very soon on there. I've been waiting on a new debit card for like a month. So once I can get the payment information in, I can start accepting orders. But if you want one now, I got really lucky, and I got this like $700 printer for free. So I've got that in my apartment. Wow. If there's a piece you like and anybody wants a print, just DM me. We can make it happen. But soon you'll be able to do it through the website.
Man, so that's kind of a process I'm working on right now with my website, is like linking my like beats to sell them on there. But I don't know how. Like, I could put a link. Like, there's a website called BeatStars. And yo, Clay, can you hear me? Uh-oh. It's reconnecting. Drum roll. So close. Well, anyways, as you can see, Clay's got some. So his printer, he allows him to, print these pieces of art multiple times in order to sell them multiple times. Let's see what's going on. Let me call him back. Oh, and Mom, I see your comment. It's good to see you too. Hear from you too, Mom.
Yeah.
Yo, sorry, you good?
Yeah. My internet is kind of crappy, but I'm on my phone now.
Yeah.
So it might be better.
Okay. I was what was I saying? I was just telling him about your printer. I was in the middle of saying something to you, and I totally forgot what it was.
Something about selling beats?
Oh, yeah. So I'm just working on that right now with my website. Like, there's another website called BeatStars, which is like the number one, or at least it was the number one site for you can post your beats and then sell them. But I guess I could just put a link to that on my website, but I'm trying to be a little more like direct with it to where I can actually get more sales. But a lot of people make a lot of money selling their beats on BeatStars. So that's a whole nother conversation, but I was just curious how you were going about that once you get your debit card, selling them on like off of your website. Like, how does that work exactly? You just have like a link to your PayPal or something?
Yeah, something like that. And then I can do it all myself, so I'll really just be shipping it out to people. Mm-hmm. So it should be pretty simple once I get it rolling. Hopefully people want some, but yeah, I'm looking forward to actually selling that because I haven't really monetized my work in any way. Yeah, I've mostly been making it for myself and just trying to figure out what kind of artist I want to be. So now people can have a little piece of that if they want to. So that'll be cool to see my stuff out in the world at friends' places if it ends up there.
Absolutely. Man, I'm looking at some of these digital prints on the website now. I had not seen any of these. This
Yeah,
is super cool. A lot of cool colors.
thank you. Yeah, I've been getting back into making digital stuff lately, especially
Uh,
being back into the NFT stuff. Um, but yeah, it's been fun.
Super cool. Super cool. All right, the next question I had. Oh, so how does it feel to be paid for your work? Or I know you said you'd sold a couple, right, to some friends, or
Yeah,
more. You might have just give. I don't know, but how's it feel being paid for your work? That's got to be a good feeling.
yeah, I don't know yet. I mean, I've kind of been giving prints away. Like,
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
yeah. I don't know. I feel weird like asking for money for what I do because I do it just to do it.
Yeah,
But I mean, money is like necessary to stay
it's
alive.
like that
So
balance, being an artist, but you're
yeah.
starting artist. But
But I'm sure it'll feel great. I mean, it'll be cool to see who um, connects with the work to the point that they want it to be a part of their lives. So I definitely look forward to that for sure.
awesome, awesome. So, I was gonna ask you about do you have any future plans for shows in the near future? But I know with COVID, but are you thinking that like you'll be able to do something in the metaverse with like virtual shows for art, like art shows?
Yeah, I definitely plan on doing that, and I'm sure within the next few months I'll have at least a piece or two up in the metaverse because I've connected with people that own virtual. Like you have to buy the land there. Like
Oh,
it's
wow,
yeah. So
this sounds intense.
yeah, it's wild. So yeah, I that's definitely one of my goals for the next few months is have a bit of work in there. More long term, I'd like to own my own virtual art gallery where I can just like add a floor to the building every time I want to add a new body of work, and people can just like walk
Just
up this
go up,
tower and
man.
see the inside of my head if they want to. Um, so
That is something
that would be
else.
cool. But I mean, physical shows I would love to do as well. Because I mean, there's nothing like connecting with people in person, and you can really see the work up close. So I definitely want to do that. I'm not in any rush. I want to be ready, and I want to feel like the body of work that I have is complete for something like that. Um, but yeah, this last semester I'd like to do. I think vaccines are coming for Northeastern students in the next few months. So if everybody gets vaccinated by like May, I'm gonna try to just do like a little pop-up show in a friend's basement and just
Hmm,
like invite people if the
that'd be
pandemic
cool.
is not an issue. But
Yeah,
that would be a fun way to just be able to show all my friends up here what I've been up to the past few years. But yeah, I really look forward to whenever I can do like a full gallery show because I love the idea of that.
yeah, absolutely. That's cool. That's exciting. Yeah, hopefully we can get back to shows. A basement show would be cool. That would be a cool little show.
Yeah,
So, you said a minute ago you with your art, you just do it to do it. But of course, it seems like you love doing it. What are some of your goals with it? Like, what do you just really want to portray, or what's do you just do it to do it, or what's your goal
my goal.
with your art?
Yeah, um, I want to make new things that people haven't seen yet. Um,
Mm, mm,
that's like at the core of it, I guess. Just seeing where I want to explore and what new things there are to discover there. That's like a pretty simple goal, and that's really the goal every time I sit down to make something.
right.
But um, in a broader sense, I
I hope I can connect with a lot of people. I hope people receive the art well. That would be nice. And people have had kind words for my work over the past couple of years, so I feel like I'm going in the right direction.
Yeah,
Um,
it's great, man.
but yeah, just I look forward to doing shows. I imagine I'll sell physical work someday. I'm not quite ready yet. I don't feel an urgency yet. Um, just because I want to be able to present. I feel like the work's more powerful as a collection, and can impact people more in that way, and you can kind of give people an experience. So I don't know. I like the idea of pop-up art shows, or maybe the art's not even for sale. It's just like people having a good time around the art and just having a little party, um, just to celebrate creativity and maybe highlight other artists in that. So I think I'm probably planning on moving back to Louisville after I graduate.
Hmm.
Um,
That's what I did.
I think when COVID ends, it'll be a really exciting time for creatives because people
Oh
have missed
yeah,
experiencing
absolutely.
that in person. So I think all of us have a big opportunity to engage with our community and kind of try to provide events that people haven't seen before. And I think there's a lot of room for collaboration there. And yeah, I'd like to, like I said, I want to make some clothes. Um, that's not my priority right now, as I'm really into the NFTs. But
Yeah,
once I don't have all this homework, there's definitely a few pieces that I want to work on getting out in the world. Um,
right.
and I think that would be something nice to offer as a physical thing to take away from a like pop up art experience.
Right.
So things like that. I don't know. I mean, in a perfect world, you could like visual artists could tour in the same way that musical artists do, and just do pop up art galleries,
Facts.
and just people can come and see the work. Because so often I feel like there's a show in one city, and that's when the work is shown, and people buy the work, and then it's just in a bunch of homes, which is good. And I want to get my work in homes eventually, but
Yeah,
I think just there's a lot of importance of bringing people together in moments like that. Just to I don't know, give them something they haven't seen before, and maybe bring them outside of their usual perception of
Yes,
everyday
sir.
life.
hell yeah, sweet man. That's dope. So, um, let's see. So you're in your last semester, and so you are planning on moving back home to Louisville. You said
Yeah, I believe so.
that's cool. That's what I did. Hey, there ain't nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. And I really did a lot, to be honest. Like I started interning, and then COVID. I was at downtown recording, and then of course COVID, and then. But I mean, I met some people, new people, and it's not a bad move, to be honest. You know, you got to do what you got to do. Save money,
Yeah,
free
exactly.
rent.
And
You know,
rent, like, yeah, rent up here in Boston is crazy.
I bet. I
So I don't
bet.
know how sustainable that'll be after I graduate. But yeah, it's and I feel like with where we're at in life, the creative community in Louisville is really exciting to me. Like, there's so many other people that I mean, I don't take inspiration in my work from. I'm making what I want to make, but like what they do inspires me, and it makes me so happy that there's somebody making that work, because I never could have thought of it. In music, art, acting, dance, all sorts of things. So um, I think it's an exciting community to be a part of, and I think we're pretty lucky to have grown up in there and have all the connections we do to this day. And I think there's still a lot more connections to form. But yeah, love
Absolutely.
that community.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. That's the goal of the show, man.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
That
and
community.
we've got the studio back home, so
That's true.
I
That's
might
true.
just use that as my space to create, because don't have to rent a studio space. So that's a big win. Um,
Big win. Big
and I
win.
can get maybe some home cooked meals from my mom here and
Hey, hey, that was like a top 5 reason to be home.
there. Exactly.
Coming home from like a long day of work and always having a nice meal. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm a pretty good cook, so
Yeah.
I can make some good stuff. Uh, I got one of my family friends here said her name is Alice. She said she's impressed with your work and talent and creativity.
Oh, thank you, Alex.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us. I learned a lot today. Louisville does have a great creative community. You'll do well.
Amazing. That's so sweet of you to say.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for listening.
All right, so we've come to the part of the show, Clay. The Lush. Hang on, where's my mouse? The Lush lockdown, buddy. So you got. Don't feel pressured. It's all opinion based. You've got 10 seconds to answer. I got like 3 questions for you. All right.
Word.
Let me set the. Okay, it's set. All right. You're in Louisville. No. You're in the Highlands. Okay, and you have. The food in the Highlands is kind of expensive. All right, you got.
Give me the whole city.
Okay, all right, cool. You're in Louisville. You have $15 in your pocket. Okay. Where are you going to eat? You got 10 seconds.
Royals
Okay,
hot
put
chicken.
10 minutes
probably.
on it. Royals, really?
Yeah, if it was $10, I'd go to Lee's famous recipe. But I love chicken places in Louisville are unmatched.
Man, it's funny. Most people that I ask that, they always say something about chicken. But yeah. I don't. Okay, I've been to Lee's once, and it was pretty good. Now Royals is good. The only thing I have about it is just like it. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I personally like Joella's better.
Yeah.
But the way their chicken, I don't even know how to say it. I don't know if it's the way that it's breaded. It's just I don't know. But it is pretty. It is pretty good. It is pretty good.
Yeah.
But again, totally opinion based. So, all right. So he said Royals. All right. This is a crucial question here, Clay. UK or U of L? You got 5 seconds.
U of L.
3. Oh my God. Disappointed. Nah, but that's understandable. My whole family went to UK. My uncle, my cousins, my mom, dad, and my brother. I was the only one that didn't. But yeah, no, I'm a big UK fan at heart.
You got an excuse.
Yeah, exactly. But like I'm always down to go to like a U of L football game or a Yum Center game. Always a blast. All right, last question. This doesn't really pertain to Louisville, but it's more of a worldly thing. Who's winning the Super Bowl, Clay? The Bucks?
I just found out who was playing yesterday.
Oh wow.
I'm not a sports watcher at all. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs though, because Tom Brady's on the other team, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, we'll go
now,
with
see, my whole thing is like, okay, the Chiefs won it last year, and first of all, it is really annoying and insane that Brady left the Patriots, and now they suck, and he went to a sucky team and made them great, and now they are in the Super Bowl. It says a lot for his leadership, but it is just like, come on.
I'd be rooting for him if he was still playing for the Patriots, because when they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, we were all out in the streets and had a great time.
Oh, yo, that's true. I bet. Yeah, I bet that was pretty crazy. But man, I mean, just like this, I mean, he is just always in the Super Bowl, and it's a different team. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I really don't care, but it's just insane. My prediction is the Bucks will be down by like 21 going into the fourth quarter. They will score the Bucks will score 3 times in the fourth quarter. I'm calling it. I'm already calling it because that's how it always happens with him. It's always very last minute, and he throws at least like 2 or 3 touchdowns, and it's always in the Super Bowl. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm just
I kind of forgot about that it was happening, so I guess I'll watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it is tomorrow. I keep thinking today's Friday for some reason. Yeah, wow. But well, Clay, it has been a pleasure having you on here. Some really, really cool things about the NFTs, the crypto art, and the chaos theory. Those are definitely things I want to look into, and the metaverse, the crypto voxels. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, and Decentraland. I kind of like Decentraland better, but they're both pretty cool.
What do you just like sign up for it and download it, or how do you do it?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. You might have to set up a MetaMask wallet.
Oh my God.
But I'll send you something.
Yeah.
And I'll send you a pretty good article about music and NFTs, because there's a lot of really cool innovation happening there. So
Yeah.
or make you aware.
For
And if
sure.
anybody listening wants to learn more, just DM me, and I'd be happy to. I'm excited about this stuff, so I'm happy to share knowledge where I can.
No, crypto is something crazy. It's about to be the future. It already is, honestly. But yeah, man. I appreciate you sharing your story, sharing your inspiration. It's been a great show. Season 1, episode 1, but this is the 21st episode of the podcast. I've done 21 episodes, so I appreciate you having you on here. We'll keep in touch. I'll be DMing you and stuff, and let me know how that basement show goes if you're able to do that. I know that's kind of in the future, but definitely send me some links to the MetaMask wallet or whatever all that is in the article. I'd love to look into that. But yeah, do you have any last words? Any last words?
Not really, but yeah, thank you for doing this show. It's really cool to hear stories from other people who just make stuff in the city. We got a lot of talent from where we came from, so
absolutely,
I think it's great that somebody's shining a light on it. So thanks for having me.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to anybody who's listening after the fact. I appreciate all of you. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here, Clay. And have a good day and stay in touch, bro.
Yeah, you too, bro.
I'll talk to you. Yeah, talk to you soon, bro.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Peace.
Be safe. Man, what a great show. Super cool. That crypto art and that NFTs. Honestly, I don't understand a lot of it, but let me get FaceTime out of here. I got two of me on the screen and one's delayed. That crypto art stuff is just like, what the heck? Like that's or cryptocurrency even is like it's kind of confusing, to be honest. But those metaverses and those crypto voxels, that sounds pretty cool, especially for virtual shows. That's really, really very interesting. So yeah, season 3, we're back in it. We got episode 2 of season 3 next Saturday. Got a couple of guests for that one. Hopefully that's on the radar. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything. I don't really have too much going on this week. I'm just working. I got another job at Amazon delivering here in Nashville. I meant to say that at the beginning. I do that part-time. And yeah, I'm trying to think anything else that's happening this week. I don't think so. But yeah, just everybody, I appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. We're trying to get more viewers in, more people tapped into the live show. That's the goal. If you're interested in being on the email list, DM me on Instagram or just text me. You can get in touch with Clay on his Instagram. He's got 2. There's Clay Devlin Art, which is just him, a lot of stuff, his art. You can DM him there, or he has the one I was on earlier, which is also a lot of his art, Clay Devlin, Clay.Devlin. You can find him there. Yeah, it's mostly a lot of his art here too. But yeah, so tap in with him, get in touch with him and DM him about these NFTs and virtual worlds. And that sounds super interesting. And yeah, everybody stay safe. Thank you for another good episode of Lush Louisville. And yeah, we'll see you next week.